All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the Apostle Elders Great Millstone, and salute on to you brothers out there preaching this word, sincerity and truth. All right, coming to another video. Basically, want to grab various thermonuclear missile scriptures. All right, I'm entitled the video. The apostles and prophets had visions of nuclear destruction. All right, and the visions that the men of the Lord had, back in the ancient world, they could only describe it of what the times they're living in. So it'd be like arrows, horsemen, chariots. All right. Uh, uh, in the book of Revelation, John described the nuclear missiles as, uh, the mouths of lions. All right. And various other different descriptions of like animals and stuff like that. All right. Um, visions of uh, the world wars. All right. The planes, the fire planes are described being scorpions and etc. So it's through the spirit of Yahweh Yahushai that he gave his wisdom to, the men of the Lord in this time, because scriptures said uh, the prophets are subject unto the prophets. It's basically meaning if you're a prophet since the beginning, all right, you will always be a prophet, all right, through the various reincarnations, all right. So World War III, where we're coming in the midst of, all right, World War III will basically be against America, all right, um, with the state of Israel, NATO and EU is against uh, Russia, China, and Iran, all right. And eventually the NATO and the EU, they're going to shoot missiles on America. All right. So, this is the script. This is the scriptures. All right. This is the Most High's movie. All right. And only his children can understand what the Lord has put in the scriptures. All right. So start with Joel chapter, second chapter. All right. Joel is a prophet, an Israelite prophet. All right. And he describes the missiles. All right. And you go to Isaiah 54, the Lord actually put it in the minds of men to create these missiles to basically destroy themselves. All right. So Joel 2:1, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. All right. The holy mountain is Israel. All right. A mountain represents government. All right. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them. Okay, so this is describing what the effects of a missile. All right, so a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Okay, the land is the Garden of Eden. All right, so it basically represents the Garden of Eden, represents life. All right, before them and behind them. So after the nuclear missile detonates and hits its intended target, it says behind them a desolate wilderness. All right. So when that nuclear missile explodes, all right, at its target, there's no life. All right. It's actually a desolate wilderness. It's actually destruction. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is an appearance of horses. Okay, that's the prophet Joel describing what the missiles look like in his own words. All right, of horses and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains, shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pain, and all faces shall gather blackness. All right. It's movies like T2. All right. There's another Terminator movie that had the missile shot off, and people were before the see the people look at the missiles in the sky flying, their faces like it's like in the state of awe. All right. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and all they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Okay, so when the missiles are shot off, they're gonna be they're basically not gonna run into each other. They both got their targets they need to hit. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run up the wall. That's basically when a nuclear missile detonates, that nuclear wind. All right. They shall run up upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter into the windows like a thief. All right. So that nuclear wind is going to devour everything. All right. That movie Independence Day, when the chariot, and the chariot is also, is going to make a big return before the nuclear missiles destroy America. All right. Our Lord Yahweh Shai is going to be in a chariot, beaming up the elect, destroying the wicked. But in that movie, ID4, you can see the fire basically climbing up the buildings and to the basically devouring the buildings. All right. There was nothing standing after that. All right. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. So these missiles are going to block out the sun, moon, the stars. All right. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. So that's a part of the Lord's army, man. Nuclear missiles, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? All right. So that was a account of Joel saying he's seen the missiles in a vision, and he wrote it in the book. That's what the angel told Esdras. All right. Said, write these things, write these visions, write them down in a book. All right, which you know as the Bible, and teach them to the wise. All right, because only the wise gonna understand. All right, you people in the Christian religion, you're not gonna get this, man. You're not gonna get the understanding of the Bible, man. All right, you've been taught another way. All right, you haven't been taught the truth. Okay. Now, speaking of Esdras, this is an apocrypha. Okay. Esdras also had a vision, the same vision Joel seen. All right. I'm gonna get it. Second Ezra chapter 16, we'll start at 15. A fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow, okay, so Ezra is describing the missiles as an arrow, which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward. Even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again, All right. Shot at the ends of the. No, there we go. So I'm gonna start at 12, 16, and 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundation thereof. The sea rises up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. Okay, verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Okay, that's a clue that an archer that has an arrow, when the shot is on, it's not going to be shot. It's going to be shot a certain amount of feet. It's not going to be shot from the ends of the world. All right. So this is talking about another missile. Another arrow, which is the missile. I believe you look up the word arrow, it says, like in the Webster Dictionary, and one of the definitions, it says missile. All right. So that's what Ayers was describing the missiles as arrows. Okay. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So what you call is a ICBM missile, intercontinental ballistic missile. All right. If a nuclear missile is shot off from from the other side of the world, and get to the other side in 30 minutes. All right. So this is what Ezra was talking about. All right. So Ezra's talking about the missiles. Let's go into the New Testament, for you New Testament people. All right. The Apostle Peter also talked about the thermonuclear missiles. Okay. So let me find where I'm going to start at. We'll start here, 3 and 10. 2 Peter 3 and 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements. So the elements, all right, the periodic table on elements. All right, your body is made up, and everything else is made up of elements from the periodic table. All right, shall be melt with fervent heat. All right, what melts all the elements? Heat. All right, and the primary objective, the only objective of a nuclear missile is burning up everything. All right, shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and all the works that are therein shall be burnt up. All right, all the people's ideologies. All right, the image of the beast, all that, the religion, different religions and shit. All that shit gonna be burnt up, man. Black Lives Matter, all that shit is gonna be burnt up once these nuclear missiles destroy this land, America, man. All right. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. So fire is gonna dissolve this place. And what manner of persons are you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? All right. Yeah, we got the Day of Atonement coming up. All right. So that's a part of the holy conversation and godliness. All right. So the Day of Atonement is basically you fasting. All right. For 24 hours, no food, no drink. You can't drink water. You can't eat food. All right. 24 hours. All right. Just basically, atoning for your sins, man, for that whole year. All right. And you fasting. That's a part of that holy conversation and godliness. All right. So you want to be caught up in this nuclear missile fire, man. The Lord's going to save you if you stay in holy conversation and godliness. looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Okay. This is also called the second death. All right. The first death was back in Noah times. You got the flood. That's the first death. Second death is thermonuclear destruction by fire. Yeah, and the first, the covenant that the Most High made with Noah was the rainbow. All right, that the Lord he look up on the rainbow, and that's the covenant that he won't flood the earth anymore. All right, but fast forward until this time, thousands of years in the future, you people use the rainbow as a signification of being homosexual. That's an abomination according to the Most High. All right. Yeah, you don't think the Most High is pissed about that? So he's like, okay, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use these missiles to destroy you. All right, destroy this wicked ass place, man. All right, everything is gonna melt except the elect of Israel. All right, Zechariah 4:12. Now this is straight up out of Terminator 2. All right, because all these directors, Hollywood directors, their they get the ideas from the Bible. All right. Zechariah 14:12, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. All right. So Jerusalem is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you Israelites. And you Israelites, you catching hell in this society, man. In America, man. All right. Niggas getting shot in the back by the police. All right. But you niggas kill your own selves. So that's why 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you're going to be caught up in this missile fire, man. All right. You're going to be caught up in this. All right. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. All right. So what can do that? A missile. All right. Heat from the missile is going to consume your flesh. All right. So the 2/3 you Israelites that won't wake up to the truth and repent, so-called white people, Edomites, and you other nations that's over here in the shores of America, you're gonna get caught up in this. You're gonna feel this thermonuclear heat. All right, this is the Lord's judgment. All right, be part of that second death. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And Judah shall also fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver, apparel in great abundance. Okay. So basically, verse 12 is talking about the missiles, man. Okay. And there's many other scriptures talking about the missile, the book of Revelation. All right. Let me find that scripture where it said, thousand. Revelation. I'll bring it up. Revelation 9. 200,000. Yep, there it goes. Where we're gonna start at. Revelation 9 and 13, and the sixth angel sounded, and now this is going, toward World War III time frame. I heard a voice. I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Okay, so the Lord sent angels out there in the Middle East to hold back the destruction. So the World War III is a destruction, nuclear missiles destruction. All right. And it says, I believe it's Revelation 16, if I'm not mistaken, that the angels also dried up the river Euphrates. All right, so they can fight that war in the Middle East. All right. But and the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for the slated third part of men, all right, which is Esau, Edom. And the number of the army of the horsemen, okay, Joel, all right, Joel described the missiles as horsemen as well, horses, There we go. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. I heard the number of them. Those are the missiles. And John describes the missiles. And thus I saw the horses in a vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, with the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. All right, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. All right, so what? That's a nuclear missile now. All right, you look at a nuclear missile, type in YouTube and type in nuclear missile, and look at it when it's shot off. It describes this, man. All right. So it's 200,000, like 200 million missiles now. All right. So, yeah, that's a prophecy, man. All right. And the testimony of Yahweh is the spirit of prophecy. Okay. So that's pretty much all I got. It was edifying. Shalom.